Mr. Musso, what's going on, man? We just watched ourselves a heck of a baseball game.
Yeah, feeling good about that, Taylor. 9-5 over the course of 2 days. LSU, I mean, you just want some totality on it, I think, to start. They have played 2-0, first of all. They're 2-0 for the first time in the College World Series since 2009. That is so refreshing because it has been a very long time since LSU has gotten to play through the through the winner's bracket, and that's obviously what you want to do in this situation. In totality for the 2 games, I look at this and I say LSU has played just about as efficient of baseball as really they're capable of doing. You won 2 games. You won them in 2 different ways. Behind great starting pitching from Cade Anderson and behind what was looking like it was going to be a great start from Anthony Ianson. The rain comes. You get a great bridge effort from Kason Evans. Your bullpen holds the line. The one thing that has been consistent in those 2 wins is timely hitting. LSU, that is definitely carried over from the Super Regional. They are coming up with the big swings when they need it most. I think the 8th and the 9th innings, the 7th and the 9th innings are 7th and 8th innings are the perfect example of that for LSU here in this game, but also 5 out of your 9 runs scored with 2 outs in this ballgame against UCLA. And when LSU's been going great, this year offensively, that has been a hallmark of their team, and it was again in the matchup against UCLA.
I'm glad you brought up getting to play through the winner's bracket for the first time since 2009, right? Because if you remember in 2017 and 2023, you were able to make the championship series. Yeah. You lost a game 2 in both of those. But what did you have to have? You had to have performances from guys that you didn't think you were going to get, right? You had incredible performances from Caleb Gilbert in 2017. And then last season, or 2023, the last time you made it to the championship, Griffin Herring goes about 7 innings against Wake Forest. Hadn't seen him do that. Nate Ackenhausen steps up. He becomes a starting pitcher for you. Like, it's doable. It's just a lot harder. You've made things easier on yourself. And Musso here mentions, well, it's kind of in 2 days because surprise, surprise, guys, Koki Riley tweeted this out last night. Here's a fun little nugget for you. 19th time this season, LSU baseball affected by rain delays. That's damn near a third of your season. Like, that's a lot. But we'll kind of do the score and recap, and then I'll get your thoughts on maybe what we saw offensively and on the mound. So, obviously, yesterday we were all tuned in. UCLA starts out hot, scores 3 runs in the top of the first off of Ianson, and we're really hard-hit balls. Like, 2 of the runs scored, the hits didn't even leave the infield. Like, one of them, Dickinson dove to stop. He hopped up, just didn't have a throw to make. Run scores there, but Ianson battles back. 2 straight shutout innings in the second and the third. And then LSU responded. You get singles by Ethan Fry, Stephen Milam, Jake Brown. That produces the first run in the bottom of the first. And then the guy who probably needed to have it the most, Jared Jones, comes up, gets a 3-run home run, make it 4-3. Then the Tigers went ahead 5-3 in the third after a 2-out single by Luis Hernandez. Ianson looks like he's rolling, and then the dark clouds roll in, the lightning happens, and you get delayed 3 hours. They announce you pick it up today. You go with Kason Evans. We'll get to that in a second. But look, Evans was good. He goes 4 1/3. He allowed 2 runs. You go Cooper Williams after that. He just didn't have it control-wise. Shores comes in, 1 pitch out in the 8th inning, and then he shuts the door in the 9th. I mean, I love what they did pitching-wise in that game. And then offensively, Milam, again, a single up the middle to make it 6-3. Jake Brown singles. That makes it 7-3. Dickinson comes up in the 7th inning. He has an RBI to shallow right. It's 8-3 now. Jared Jones, again, coming up with a big hit after that awful outing against Arkansas. Line drive up the middle. That scores Ethan Fry at third. You make it 9-5. And then again, Chase Shores closes it out in the 9th inning. Moose, kind of a complete effort. What did you think about, the big thing going into today was who are you going to pitch? How long are they going to go? Thoughts on Kason Evans?
Yeah, no, Kason Evans was the right call there. It was interesting because if you would have gotten to restart a night ago, I think you probably maybe go somewhere like Jaden Newt, maybe something in that regard. But when you're coming into a game like this where it's a complete restart, refresh, you need somebody with starting experience. Kason Evans has that. He can just go out there and go through a starter's routine. Not only that, the stuff is some of the best on LSU staff. Like, the way I've kind of put it throughout the season is Kason Evans is the only other pitcher on this staff outside of Ianson and Anderson who has shown you consistently, emphasis on consistently, that he can mix his pitches with his much success as they can, like 3-4 pitches for strikes. So I love that. What Kason Evans did so well today was own the bottom of the zone. UCLA is not a team that strings together things very well. They don't hit a lot of doubles. Yes, they have like 70-something home runs, which is a lot for them, but it's not a lot in the grand scheme of college baseball. They need help. They need walks. They need errors, things of that nature. They're very similar to West Virginia. Now, yes, they did string together a rally against Ianson in the first inning. That was great. When you look at what they did later in the game, it happened off of a walk, a wild pitch, all of that, and nothing left in the infield in that inning either. But Kason Evans pounded the zone. I believe he got one fly ball out today. The rest of them were strikeouts and groundouts. He owned the bottom of the zone. LSU did a really good job of that in general on the mound. Outside of the first inning for Ianson, when he really settled in, he was down in the zone. Cooper Williams was down in the zone. He just lacked a little bit of fastball command. And Chase Shores was awesome again. But I love the decision to go to Evans. You're trying to get to 2-0. You go with one of your best. And Evans is one of your best, especially in a lengthy role. So I love that decision. And he executed it perfectly. I would have loved to have seen him get you through the 8th, but he was a little gassed. I mean, he had pitched already Saturday. So, he can have a day or two rest now, hopefully, and he'll be geared up for the championship series. But the important thing is you got to 2-0, and you have so many opportunities on the mound now. Like, you can go so many different ways if you're LSU over the next few days in Omaha.
Look, hand up this morning on OTB, I said I didn't want Evans to start just because I thought that you could get it done without Kason Evans. But, I mean, to your point about going through the winners bracket, like, now the good news for LSU is, regardless of if you have Evans the next 2 days, okay, a team has to beat you twice. Yes. A team that is going to play tonight is going to have to beat you twice. UCLA used a lot of pitchers today. Now, they didn't go a whole heck of a lot as far as number of pitches wise, but I don't think there was a bad decision. I mean, again, I said this morning I wouldn't have went Kason Evans, but I like it. I mean, I like it if you get that performance, if you win the game. My only worry was if you go Kason Evans and don't win this game, you would have had to have won tonight. 3 games essentially without him. If you went and he went this distance without him, I thought you could win the game without him. But you know what? Credit to Jay Johnson. Like, he went in there and he said, I got to win this game. Because my thought was, like, okay, you want to win every game in Omaha. Technically must win is like season on the line, right? But when you look at it now, I think Arkansas has a huge advantage over UCLA because UCLA played earlier today. Like, had LSU lost today, I think they would have been behind the 8 ball against Arkansas tonight just because, I mean, coming in, having to play at 10 a.m., taking a little bit off, and then, I mean, it's a doubleheader, but it's an extended doubleheader, right? Like, he rolled the dice a little bit, but it paid off in a huge way.
It did, but, I don't even really know if he was rolling the dice because the other thing is, Evans is so good against lefties. Like, he's really they put the graphic up.
Three lefties came up to start the game.
They put the graphic up on the screen right before the game started. The lefties are hitting like 177 off of him. So, I mean, they knew it was calculated, and it was the right move. You're trying to get to 2-0 for a couple of reasons, and I want to get a little bit more into the game as well. I definitely want to talk about Jared Jones. Maybe we can do that in the next segment. But getting to 2-0, what that leaves you now is, you haven't seen Jaden Newt. You haven't seen Jacob Myers. You haven't seen Zach Cowan. Like, I think Chase Shores.
You had Rizzy warming up. He's available. Like, you have all these guys.
Chase Shores has thrown a total of like 20-something pitches so far.
Because he threw, 12 to 15 today? On Saturday?
You could theoretically use him to close out a game tomorrow. But winning on Wednesday night is imperative for LSU because it gives you your rest back.
Yeah, because today was supposed to be your rest day.
What you lost in a rest day today, it gives you that back, potentially having Thursday and Friday off. So you had to go in all in and try to get yourself to 2-0. It's just because that also can help restore in some sense your advantage of Anderson and Ianson. We'll see how they use Anthony Ianson the rest of the way. Again, like, tomorrow would normally be a bullpen day for him. So you could see him close out the ball game potentially. Yes, you could see him close out the ball game and then be potentially ready to go for you in a game 3. A lot of things are open for them now at 2-0 with the pitching staff and the great performances they've got. LSU's played great baseball so far through. And how about the defense, dude? Taylor, we got to talk about the defense before we take a break.
Oh man, because that's kind of lost, right? Because everybody's looking at, earlier you were tearing the cover off the ball in the season and your bullpen's bad. Now your bullpen's great. Your offense has been kind of up and down. Like, defense has been so elite and so consistent that it's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle.
It has a little bit, which is, in a way, we've started kind of taking it for granted. Like, oh, they're going to make the play. But the 2 double plays you turned Saturday night against Arkansas, those were both in key moments. Stephen Milam has been fantastic. Danny Dickinson, though, in that UCLA game over the course of Monday night and Tuesday morning, he was sensational over at second base. And even on the plays he didn't have a throw, getting to the baseball was huge. You look in the first inning on Monday night, he dives, snares a ball at the middle, and prevents a run from scoring right there. Like that's the little things, game within the game. LSU brought their gloves to Omaha, and they've had them all season long, but they have been absolutely phenomenal defensively so far through 2 games in this series.
Yeah, they really are. I'm glad you brought that up because, like, when we were kind of recapping the scoring a little bit earlier, I mentioned Daniel Dickinson got the ball, got up, he had no throw. But to your point, like, there were multiple runners on base. It's likely 4-0 if Daniel Dickinson can't get that. That changes everything completely, right? Because then you take the lead in the bottom of the first. That lead's no longer there if it's 4-0 in the top of the first inning. So, like, he was excellent. Stephen Milam continues to be excellent at shortstop. Like, your outfield is stepping up. Everything you have needed to put together on defense. Again, it's been so good that you kind of forget about it at times, right? It's like good special teams in football, right? If you're not talking about it, then it's done a really good job. And that's where LSU's been.